This video is a review of my 2-year project building this Jeep Wrangler Rubicon Unlimited Recon Edition for overlanding purposes. This was filmed during my recent overland trip to the Tahoe National Forest, and part 1 of that trip can be found in the link above or in the description below. I hope you enjoy this video. Alright guys, so we're going to start this rig walk around with the front of my Jeep. This is a 2017 JK Rubicon Unlimited Recon Edition. As far as I know, the Recon Edition just means that it had thickened tubes for the axle shafts, for the axles themselves, not the axle shafts, and beefed up differential covers, thicker, beefier than the stock ones that came with the Rubicons, and also the interior, there's red stitching and red seat belts, some red touches they did on the inside, and that's pretty much it. I know. Oh, and the rock sliders are different as well. They're really nice. I actually really like them. They stick out further than the standard ones, and I really do like the rock sliders they have on these Recon editions. So anyway, start with the front, and first an overview. This was a 2017 that I bought used. It had 35,000 miles on it. I've had it about 2 years. It now has about 70,000 miles, 75 actually. So I've been putting about 20,000 a year on it. So I started with a Metal Cloak 2-inch lift, the Overland edition I think it was called. Pretty basic lift on this thing, but it included all the suspension components, the coils, the lifting components, that sort of thing. And then I had the tires, went with some Black Rhino rims and 17-inch rims, and then 35-inch tires were put on. As far as the front, where we're going to start, this is a Smittybilt XRC Generation 2 bumper, I believe it is. It's steel. I do like it. It's very capable bumper. It's beefy. It has these skid plates that are removable underneath, which is kind of neat. If they get banged up or damaged, you can replace them. I could mount these KC lights under here, which I really like the fact they're down low. I didn't want anything up high. Got the Warn winch. This is an Evo Series 8S, which means 8,000 pound capacity. This has been more than enough for my needs. I know there's 10 and 12,000 pound capacity ones you can get. You can get the Xeon series, which is even more higher end, I guess you'd call it. But this Evo Series 8S has done great for me. So, and there's been some videos I produced that show you me using it. This is a Factor 55 flat link on the front, which I do like that. And these are ProComp fog lights, halogen fog lights. So that's about it for the bumper and the front. Underneath I have a Steer Smarts system that includes the drag link, tie rod, track bar. I also have the Steer Smarts track bar in the back of the rig. Love it. That made a huge difference on this rig. Just in terms of the way the driving felt so much more stable, and I don't even use a steering stabilizer on this anymore. I used to have death wobble issues with a steering stabilizer, and this no longer has one or needs one. This is just a bulletproof steering system. I love Steer Smarts for that. They really beefy components, and I don't think I'll ever need a steering stabilizer unless I go to maybe 37s or 40s, but for right now with 35s it's no issue. So that's the front. Yeah, so these Falcon shocks have just been amazing. These are the Series 3. They're the adjustable, where you can move them from a soft setting to a medium to a hard stiffness setting, and they've been a game changer for me. They've made a big difference on the suspension system for this Jeep. And then I've got these Black Rhino 17-inch rims. These are Warlord rims. I just love the look of these, the way the machine edges on them. They've definitely got some nicks and scratches now, but and I've also got these Mickey Thompson Baja ATs. These are really nice. I really like these tires. These have been the best ones I've put on so far, so love those. and I do have the stock aluminum bump or stock plastic bumper. I don't know if I'll ever go or change these out. The reason why is weight. You know, I just want to really control the weight on this rig, and so I'll definitely never do metal. There are aluminum ones you can get that give you more clearance, but I mean, if you watch episodes of Epic Family Road Trip or Venture Forward, those guys still have all their stock fenders on, and those guys have been all over the US and Canada and some amazing places. And again, because of weight, I think I'm just going to keep the stock fenders on. And I really don't have any plans to go to 37s at this point. I did regear from 433 to 488, and that's also been a big improvement. It made a major difference on how this thing shifts on grades and everything when it's loaded down. So anyway, that's the suspension system. So I have a KC light bar here. It's the Pro 6 light bar. This is an incredible light bar system for my rig. It shoots out an amazing amount of light at night, and it's given me no issues since I've had it the last couple years, and just been awesome. And the fact you can put these amber covers on them as well makes them multi-purpose. So really like them. They've been great. Down here I have some ProComp A-pillar lights, and like the fact I can, you know, turn them off to the side to see what's on the side of the trail at night. Those have been working great. And then to switch these on and off, I have an S-Pod system, which has some switches mounted up on the top here of my rig, where you just flick a switch and you can turn any of these lights on individually. And then here I have a antenna. This is for my ham radio. I have an Icon 2730 dual band ham radio. The dual band allows me to listen to 2 channels at the same time, and one of those I've switched over to GMRS. So on one channel I can listen to ham radio if I wanted to, and on the other channel I can listen in on GMRS bands. So that's been a great addition, really handy to have. All right, that's it for this front here, I think. Okay, this has been featured in other videos, but just really quickly, I have a do-it-yourself power water system, guys, and what it does is it hooks into this spot right here with a quick connect fitting, and put that on there. I installed it myself. I do have a video on this thing. It's basically a little RV pump that's right underneath this thing, basically, maybe a little further back. But I have 2 5-gallon Scepter jerry cans. Let me move this real quick. Okay, so getting the air out of the system. But yeah, so how this works, okay, is 2 5-gallon Scepter jerry cans. These are plastic. They have a quick connect fitting right here that I installed on the plastic jerry can. There's a plastic tube that goes out this way, and when this one goes empty, I can disconnect this and quickly connect it into this one in a matter of seconds. This tube goes down behind the rear passenger seat on the passenger side. There's a drain plug in the floor at that point. It goes down through that drain plug, crosses over the top of the fuel tank, and then comes to an RV pump that's actually about right here behind underneath the Jeep. So that tube comes to that side of the RV pump. The other side of the RV pump, which is pumping the water to this outlet, comes over here. I routed it right to this point. This is a steel bumper. It's a Rubicon Unlimited, but they came with a plastic insert right here, which made it really easy to install this quick connect fitting. And then I just installed a hose on this, and boy, you get plenty of power when you need it. And you see the video Overlanding to Forgotten Mines, you can see how we washed down the doors of the Jeep and the door handles, which are completely covered with mud. This was a great thing to have for that, because we were getting in and out of the Jeeps, constantly grabbing these muddy door handles, and having that available to wash down those handles and get the mud off the doors. It was great. So it's not for everyone. I'm not the first one to invent this. There's other videos on this. Everybody has done it different ways. Some people have installed sort of a semi-permanent water tank into the back of the Jeep. I did it this way just so that I could pull these out and fill them up very easily if I had to walk some distance to a water hose or a water spigot. But there's a million ways you can do these. I do have a video on it. I'll put in the link above. But this has been working great for me. I've had it for a couple years now. I had it in Death Valley, which is kind of when I started doing YouTube videos. And so I've had it for about 2 years now, and it's been working great. Okay, so for the back of the rig, you guys already know about the water system. So that's a nice feature to have. That's the mod I did on my rig by myself. Still has the stock Rubicon Unlimited bumper, steel bumper. I did add these Gamma bags. These are really handy. There's just some dead space in this area of these Jeeps. These bags, I've stuffed a lot in these bags. On the left side here I have a bottle jack and just recovery gear items. All sorts of things are stuffed into these bags, and really been a handy addition to my rig. With molly panel things you can hang off of them. Really nice. And then have obviously a fire extinguisher mounted here. Up here I have my high lift jack is mounted up here. There's a mounting system available for them where you can mount them inside your rig right up against your roll bar, and they're completely out of the way. And I know what you're thinking, why do you need a high lift jack? Well, watch my snow trails video up in Tahoe a while back and you'll see why we needed a high lift jack. It was a rear recovery situation where we needed to pull the rigs from behind, and if we hadn't had a high lift jack, we would have been in some deep serious trouble that day. So I was about to get rid of that thing until that happened. So I'm keeping my high lift jack, and the fact I can keep it out of the weather up here where it's not going to get rusted or destroyed from the weather elements is awesome. And they also make a bracket, and I'll leave a link for who makes this bracket. I forget the name of them, but they make a bracket that holds both an axe and a shovel, and the shovel's off right now, but my axe is in here. So that's been a great mod as well. I really like it. I've got my ARB fridge. This has held up a couple years now, no issues. It's been great, works awesome. I have here what I would call a little kitchen area. This is a buddy of mine gave me an aluminum box that used to be a box for camera gear. Really light, but has these sections in it, and it just works great to hold different kitchen items. And for the time being, this is what I'm rolling with, and it works great for me, and it kind of fits in here nice and tight between the refrigerator and this side of the rig. So really like that. And also on this side, so we have a drop down table. This is a very basic table. It might have been an Amazon item, and I'm not even sure anymore. But it holds this Eureka stove just perfectly, and I'm not sure I would ever get the larger ones. I know there's nicer ones out there for sure. Goose Gear I think makes one, and some others make these drop down tables, and they're really nice with the fold out cutting boards and everything. But I have right here what I haven't seen a lot of people do this, but for me it's kind of like I have to have it, and that is a shock here that keeps this door open if you're not on a perfectly level surface. And for me, it's just, I love it. And so with these other tables that might come up, to this section, if it means getting rid of this thing, that won't happen for me. I love having this shock available to hold the door open when you're not on a perfectly level surface, and I don't have to worry about it slamming shut on me for some weird reason. So yeah, I think that's about it. I also keep a couple of magnets here with the hooks on them. They're so handy. A lot of times I'll wrap this with aluminum foil to keep the grease off the side of it, and I'll just hold the foil back with these things. Very handy to have those magnets. All right, we'll talk about the back here and we'll move the camera. Okay, so on the back of my rig here on this rear tire carrier, it is a Smitty built tire carrier that was put on this when I first had my rig lifted to handle the load of this additional tire. Then I put on this Rock Slide Engineering bracket that goes around the tire, straps down. Always thought those were a little questionable how well they would work, and I've taken this some amazing washboard places, and it's never loosened up or given me any indication that it'll ever fail. So mounted to this side of the Rock Slide bracket, I have my 5-pound propane tank. And then on the other side, I have my Rotopax, 2-gallon Rotopax gasoline container. And then in the middle here, I have an NBX Trail Gear garb bag, and it's basically like a trasheroo. This is really high quality. He's got a lot of neat features, one of which is in the bag here you can attach your plastic bag to the rim of the bag to basically hold it open. I haven't done that here, too lazy today, but really cool because if it just holds the bag open, you can dump your trash in without thinking about it. There is a center divider that I'm not using, but if you want to keep recycles on one side and trash on the other, you could do that, and it attaches to the front. Yeah, really nice, really large bag. You can hold a couple bundles of wood, no problem in it. Really nice fabric. Up here there's a pocket zipper, and I keep my trash bags in there. And then down below there's 2 large pockets, and these pockets can easily hold 2 propane bottles each, which is really cool. And so yeah, I've been using this for a few months now, maybe even a year, and it's been working great. Rocking the 395 Junkie patch. Daniel, I'm thinking about you, bud. And yeah, this bag's been great. So that's kind of the back of my rig. Okay, so one other thing to mention would be the rack that I have on the roof of my Jeep, and it's a Rhino rack system. This is the original Rhino rack. They've come out with a 2nd generation of this rack now, but I think it makes it a little easier to run wires inside of the frame and everything. But this is what I have mounted on my Jeep, and then mounted to that I have some rough country side lights, and also a rear light that gives me some visibility out the back side of my Jeep if I'm backing up. Yeah, and the racks work good. Originally, Alicab was saying that they didn't have a bracket that would work with these racks, and we got it to work. So if you guys have Rhino racks, they will work with Alicab, and you can see the bracket system there. And it's pretty beefy, I have to say. The brackets that come with these Alicabs are very well made and very, very high quality. All right, so now we'll just talk about the tent and the awning. So this is an Alicab Generation 3.1 tent, Gen 3.1. I've had it since about February of this year, and taken it some amazing places so far. Places like Kavanaugh Ridge at 11,000 feet, places like Levitt Lake at 9,400 feet in the rain, all over the place, and it's really been an amazing tent. It's held up great. I'd heard issues about condensation maybe in these tents, and I've had zero issues, and that may be because I leave a little they have a little vent near the top of the tent, a little zippered compartment you open up that has a screen behind it. I leave that open up every night, and rain or shine, and it's never ever given me any issues with condensation. The mattress, not the best. I have to be honest. A lot of people go ahead and put X beds in their alocabs. For me, I'm pretty. I can sleep on just about anything, so I'm living with it, and no real plans to change it at this point, but maybe someday. But other than that, you know, it's been great. It's got, what I really like about it is it has a load bar system on the top. It's an aluminum constructed shell, and I'm able to carry my max tracks up there on those load bars. And if you watch some of my videos, I've even carried a kayak on top of my rooftop tent, which I wasn't able to do with my other one. And that's really been a game changer, being able to take a kayak along and strap it down to the load bars on the top. Really makes this a really, really versatile rooftop tent for me. So it has an interior light. I'll go up and show you guys some of these things, but it has a solar panel mounted on the front. I think it's a Sunflare, I want to say 100-watt panel, which goes direct to my battery through a voltage regulator. And so I can monitor on my phone what sort of voltage I'm getting into the battery, what sort of voltage I'm coming out of the sun panel. And that's been really cool as well, to be able to keep constantly charging my battery. So if my refrigerator, which does run off my car battery, I really never have to worry about the refrigerator draining the battery down. Even though the refrigerator does have an automatic shut-off, where if it feels like it's draining the battery down to too low a voltage, it will shut off. But you don't really want your refrigerator to ever shut off. So having that sun panel or solar panel up there to be able to recharge my battery whenever I'm in sunlight has really been a cool feature to have. The other neat thing about these alocabs is the ladder. You probably can't see it from the video angle right now, but these steps are wider. They're about this wide, and they're angled so that at the angle this is at, it's almost flat. And if you know, most rooftop tents, they come with very narrow steps, and then when you angle your ladder, you're literally walking on almost a pointed edge to get up into your tent. Not the most comfortable thing in the world. So alocabs come up with this design, which is just awesome, where they made a much wider step, plus the step's angled so that when the ladder's angled, the step is almost level. Really cool feature, really cool design. Alocab constantly thinking of different things, and yeah, really like that. So the tent has been great. I haven't even used the awnings that are on this thing yet. I haven't really needed to. But it does come with rain awnings, or rain flies, you might want to call it that. But I've had this in the rain and never used them, and never had any issues with water getting in the tent, as long as you keep everything zippered up and closed up. And this is a double wall tent too, which I should mention. And I think that makes a big difference as well. It stays more insulated, and just a very high quality tent. I really like it. I think that's all I can think of to talk about that right now. But the other really nice feature is how easy it closes. You can close it in seconds, and there's virtually no effort to it. So, all right, enough about the tent. I'll show you inside. Okay, so here's the inside of the tent. In this corner we have a USB outlet that and 12-volt socket, so you can charge your phone or any other accessories you have in the tent. The zippers, I replaced the metal zippers with these sort of I don't know what you call them, plastic with a tether, but they're totally quiet when it's windy. The tent is extremely roomy. There's a light up above. Let's see if I can get to the switch here. There we go. So it has a switch, and then a whole bunch of pockets on this side. I'm 6'1", and I have plenty of room in here. And just, you know, incredible amount of headroom. And just really, really well made tent. no issues other than the mattress could probably be nicer. But yeah, that's sort of a tour of the tent. And nice large windows as well, which is really cool. That one's only half open, but you get the idea, I think. Okay, so this is the AluCab 270-degree awning. I love this awning. It's really high quality. I love the way it connects into the back side of the AluCab rooftop tent. And the tent itself is just really beefy. It can stand up in very windy conditions, no problem. If you do feel like you're going to get over 40-50 mile-an-hour winds, then I would recommend stringing it down, and they do provide straps for that. And then they provide stakes that go right up here in that little bag. And if you've seen my prior video, I did add lights on the underside of this awning, which pretty much eliminates having to have lights at the campsite altogether. That video, I'll leave a link for that, but it just attaches through a 12-volt plug in the back of my Jeep, and you have light throughout the campsite basically. Where I'm cooking, I don't need any other lighting, and in this area where I'm sitting usually in front of a fire pit, it just lights up the whole campground at night. So I really like this awning. There's not much more I can say about it other than I think it's super high quality, really well built, super easy to put away, super easy to bring out, and yeah, that's all I can think to say about it. Alright guys, so for my air up system, I have this power tank. It's a 10-pound CO2 cylinder. Really like it. It can fill up my 35s from 18 to 20 psi to 35 psi in about 20 to 25 seconds per tire. And you get about 4 fill-ups, I would say. So that'd be 4 tires filled up 4 times. And so if I'm not quite sure where it stands, how full it is, I will bring a backup air pump with me. I usually do anyway, because some people I may be with may not have one. But this is way better than any sort of electric air pump that I've seen on the market in terms of how fast it will fill your rig. I also have the air gauge and chuck that comes with the power tank package. It's been working great. I love this thing. And the other thing about this is you can actually use air tools with it. And I actually have a little air saw. In one of 395 Junkies videos, we used that air saw to cut a bolt on his awning that was scratching his new camper shell. So anyway, that's what I use for airing up my power tank. Alright guys, so that's the rig walk around. I'm pretty happy with the rig where it is right now. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I think some things I'd like to do in the future would maybe be to beef up the drive shafts, something like Tom Woods or Adams. Beef up the axle shafts. What else? And I'd like to do an aluminum underbelly for the entire rig. I think Daniel 395 Junkie did one like that. I'd like to in the future look at ways to reduce weight, and it does have a steel skid plate for like the fuel tank and things like that. I'd prefer to replace all that steel with aluminum. Same with the front bumper. As much as I love it, I think someday I would like to go to an aluminum bumper. And as I indicated before, I'm stuck with the plastic fenders. I like them. I like the fact they have no weight to them. And that's about it. I mean, I'm sure there'll be other things I'll be doing in the future, and if so, I'll definitely tune you guys in for that. But right now I'm pretty happy with where this rig is sitting, and doing adventures like this is just incredible for me. It's something I really enjoy doing, and I hope you guys enjoy the videos also. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this rig walk around video of my Jeep. It has been something I've been meaning to do for a long time, and the location in the Tahoe National Forest was a perfect place to do it. Stay tuned for upcoming episodes along the 395 in the Eastern Sierras, and as always, please like and subscribe as it will really help the channel grow. Thanks so much.